Presented by Listen Headlines. Latest financial news from trusted sources.
Forex Live. August 21st. 7:29 America, New York. The medium is the message. Jackson Hole goes virtual. That's a powerful message to Jerome Powell at the July 28 FOMC press conference. Fed Chairman Jerome Powell brushed aside Delta, saying it would now have only a minor effect on the path of the economy. Forex Live. August 21st. 7:22 America, New York. FDA aims to give full approval to Pfizer COVID vaccine on Monday. Full approval could aid with vaccine hesitancy. A common refrain for U.S. anti-vaxxers is that they want full FDA approval before getting the vaccine. Whether that's a real reason or flimsy excuse will be put to the test in the near future, as the New York Times. The agency is planning to give full approval. Forex Live. August 21st. 7:16 America, New York. New Zealand outbreak takes a turn for the worse with 21 new cases. Total cases now at 51. Optimism that New Zealand can contain its COVID outbreak is fading after details of 21 new cases were reported. PM Jacinda Ardern said it was very likely the nationwide lockdown would be extended beyond Tuesday.
Wall Street Journal Markets. August 21st. 5:30 America, New York. Moderna stock heads to the moon. The COVID-19 vaccine maker's shares are the top performer in the S&P 500 so far this year.
Naked Capitalism. August 21st. 5:07 America, New York. School or Russian roulette. Amid Delta variant and lax mask rules, some parents see no difference. A discussion of parents worried about sending their kids back to school curiously contains only red state, non-urban examples.
New York Times Business. August 21st. 5 o'clock America, New York. Why your next trip might be more expensive than your last. The cost of travel climbed this summer, but the Delta variant is weighing on demand. We looked into travel's murky crystal ball to find out how prices will fare in the future. New York Times Business. August 21st. 5 o'clock America, New York. Nursing is in crisis. Staff shortages put patients at risk. When hospitals are understaffed, people die, one expert warned, as the U.S. health systems reach a breaking point in the face of the Delta variant. Valerie Kuiper, a registered nurse, treated Deborah Collisgrew, a COVID patient, in the emergency room of Ocean Springs Hospital in Mississippi on Sunday.
Naked Capitalism. August 21st. 4:36 America, New York. Will Americans who were right on Afghanistan still be ignored? Cal surprise. No one is held accountable for huge, predictable strategic and moral failures like going to Afghanistan, because profit.
Daily FX Market News. August 21st. 3 o'clock America, New York. Bitcoin, Ethereum pushing towards fresh multi-week highs, altcoin rally resumes. The cryptocurrency market is looking in good shape ahead of the weekend, with prices breaking out of their recent consolidation phase and pressing higher.
New York Times Business. August 21st. 3 o'clock America, New York. Afghanistan faces economic shock as sanctions replace foreign aid. The Taliban will be under pressure to keep a fragile economy afloat. Shoppers on Friday in Kabul, Afghanistan. The Nation and RSQUO's former central bank governor, Ajmal Ahmadi, warned that food prices could soar.
Marginal Revolution. August 21st. 2:50 America, New York. COVID markets in everything. Certified Air Ambulance Regulatory Arbitrage Edition. We weren't sure what was going to happen, if they were going to separate us or put us in a hospital, said McElroy. I didn't know if I was going to need a respirator. Marginal Revolution. August 21st. 0:47 America, New York. What is going on with productivity? From my email. Various web sources, but none of this seems controversial. 1. U.S. GDP is now higher, in fact a fair bit higher, than when the pandemic began. 2. U.S. labor force participation is about 1.5% lower than when the pandemic began.
Wall Street Journal U.S. Business. August 20th. 2219 America, New York. Proposition 22 is unconstitutional, California judge says. The ballot measure, which passed last November, allowed Uber, Lyft, DoorDash and other gig economy companies to bypass a law that sought to reclassify their drivers as employees. New York Times Business. August 20th. 2208 America, New York. California's gig worker law is unconstitutional, judge rules. Last year, more than $200 million was spent on campaigning for a state proposition that ensured workers like Uber and Lyft drivers were considered independent contractors. A California judge faulted Proposition 22 on Friday for restricting the state legislature from making gig workers like Uber and Lyft drivers eligible for workers' compensation.
Daily FX Market News. August 20th. 2000 American New York, Australian Dollar Outlook. AUD, USD downside risks as the US dollar source. The Australian dollar will be under pressure to shrug off a strengthening USD as commodities risks increase, delta spreads and the Fed moves into view.
Wall Street Journal U.S. Business. August 20th. 1958 America New York, T-Mobile says 6 million more customer files accessed in data breach. The hack also exposed serial numbers tied to cell phones, the company says. Wall Street Journal U.S. Business. August 20th. 1953 America New York, Nexstar acquires The Hill in $130 million deal. Nexstar Media Group said the political news organization is expected to immediately boost its operating results and is a continuation of its content-first strategy.
BBC News Business. August 20th. 1935 America New York, house prices. Demand changes, not tax waiver, pushed prices up. The stamp duty holiday did not cause rising house prices, the Resolution Foundation think tank says. Wall Street Journal Markets. August 20th. 1925 America New York, Pfizer, Netflix, Amazon.com. Stocks that defined the week. Here are 7 major companies whose stocks moved on the week's news.
The Library of Economics and Liberty. August 20th. 1849 America New York, commercial censorship? I recently saw an ad on the internet that caught my eye. The product was a sleep aid, described as a treatment for snoring that allows for a more restful sleep. Wall Street Journal U.S. Business. August 20th. 1844 America New York, FDA poised to give Pfizer shot full approval next week. Action could spur more vaccination requirements by employers and encourage more people who are hesitant to get vaccinated. New York Times Business. August 20th. 1819 America New York, Facebook, fearing public outcry, shelved earlier report on popular posts. The company praised itself this week for being the most transparent platform on the Internet. Facebook faces increasing scrutiny over the data it shares with the government and the public, particularly about misinformation about the virus and vaccines.